Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Olumide Macaulay. On today's program, a look at the final preparations for the Ondo State governorship elections. The Nigeria Customs Service, through its Logistics Committee, donates rice to internally displaced persons. And Kogi State government to pay outstanding salaries of workers as verification exercise is concluded. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin in the southwest, where there are reports of an outbreak of violence in Ondo State, just as preparations for the election reaches its climax. An eyewitness account told Channels Television today that the fight erupted between supporters of two major political parties running for Saturday's governorship election. 2 people were said to have been killed and several houses burned during heavy fighting on Thursday night. According to the All Progressives Congress, the APC, the attack was meant to provoke violent reaction from its members, to cause breakdown of law and order, to give INEC a reason to postpone tomorrow's election. But the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, accuses the APC of championing the shooting and the killing of 2 people just to create the impression that the PDP is fueling violence. Meanwhile, the governor of the state, Mr. Olusegun Mimiko, has again called on INEC to postpone the elections, saying that the candidate of the PDP, Mr. Ayitayo Jegede, was only upheld as the party's candidate barely 48 hours ago. He also argues that the PDP's agents selected for tomorrow's election are loyalists of Mr. Jimoh Ibrahim, and they are reportedly working with the APC, against the PDP. And meanwhile, all things being equal, the people of Ondo State will tomorrow decide who their next governor will be. The Independent National Electoral Commission is insisting on going ahead with the exercise, even though the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Ayitayo Jegede, is calling for a postponement. Our correspondent, Sheun Kimbaloye, who is covering the election in Ondo State, has been speaking with the INEC resident commissioner, Mr. Segun Agbaje.
It seems to be working according to plans up until this moment that we're talking to you. If you just look across my shoulder, you will see that the city of Akure, perhaps the largest city in Ondo State, is moving and everybody is going on about their daily businesses just as normal. But one thing that will strike you is that if you look ahead over my shoulder, you see a bank over there. You will see an unusual crowd at the ATM point. That tells you that something is happening or something is unusual, and this is the reason. Today is a public holiday. The state government announced a public holiday saying that people can be out of work. People may not go to their offices today because so that they can prepare for tomorrow's election, and that's why the anticipation is so high. That's why you see schools are being shut. That's why you see most public offices are also shut to activities. But again, in terms of security, it looks so much that there are a lot of deployment we're seeing so much, and the security operatives are talking tough also. Let's hear from INEC what their preparation is. Yesterday is different from today. A lot of rumors about postponement, a lot of rumors about returning officer. The resident electoral commissioner of INEC, Mr. Olusegun Agbaje, joins us now on the news. Yeah, there are a lot of people asking, who is the returning officer for this election? The
returning officer for this election has been appointed by the chairman of the commission, and his name is still kept secret until tomorrow.
Is it Professor Shoremekun?
Who is Shoremekun? The name with me is not Shoremekun.
The story out there is that maybe they're using the same man, Professor Shoremekun, who was the returning officer in Edo State. Is probably the same person that will be the returning officer.
No, it's not correct.
All right, do tell us. Yesterday you said you were prepared. You said you've deployed your equipment and your materials. From today, what are the stories that you're getting from your men that have been deployed to the local government areas?
The story I'm getting is quite interesting. In fact, I'm just coming from a federal local government area where myself and the National Commissioner in charge of the area, we met and we saw the staff. In fact, I left them there. So they are already set, and they told me that by 2 p.m. they will, because the farthest local government, the farthest area there is 40-45 minutes. They say by 2 p.m. they are all going to leave the place. By 3 o'clock, all the people there will go. From Akoko, from the south, with the report we are getting is that they are all set and they are very much ready to move.
For some of us who know a little bit about Ondo politics and the terrain here, we know that Ilaje, Ondo, those local government areas are of major concern to everybody because they are riverine environment, a lot of water bodies there. In terms of transportation, it's always a challenge. Results come out from that place late. Have those materials reached Ilaje and Ondo especially?
The materials are also leaving today. They will be there by this evening. So before 5 o'clock, they should be there. They led for the local government. Local government headquarters is on land, not outside the water. Ilaje has about 9 wards or arrays across the land, so that is over the water, while Ondo has 10 arrays, 10 on land, 10 across the water. So all of them are leaving today for the arrays.
There are stories about a possible postponement, a court injunction to stop this election. Have you received any?
Sean, we have already passed that stage. This election, by the grace of God, will take place tomorrow.
Do you have fears about security? Do you have the needed security to police this election?
The IG was there on Tuesday at the chairman's stakeholders forum, and he did promise us, and what we have been saying for the past 3-4 days show that the police and other security agencies are very much alert and ready for this. In fact, for the past 2 days, the DIG operation who has been here have been so supportive to us in all our operations. Yesterday you saw them, you were there when they all left for the local government areas, massively supported by the security. And right now they are also at the local government areas to move to the various areas this afternoon.
Stay with Channels Television for all the coverage and all the information you'll need concerning the Ondo State governorship election. Elsewhere, to the education sector, university scholars have identified good governance, adherence to the rule of law, and return to the planning culture as the panacea to multiple challenges confronting the Nigerian state. This was the position of various speakers at the formal opening of the Second National Conference of Political Science Department, University of Ilorin, with the theme State, Governance and Insecurity.
This is a forum on national development organized by the Department of Political Science, University of Ilorin, Kwara State. Discussions here center on the belief that there's a mounting crisis of nation building, which has led to unfair distribution of resources, a faulty electoral system, and anti-development attitude of politicians.
One can also say that it's all about motion without movement. People are being arrested, they were corrupt with full money delegates. Up till now, we have not seen serious conviction. It's all motion without movement. The phenomenon is the part of reacting to collective interest of Nigeria. Our leaders are always very slow in reacting to things that favor Nigeria. But they are always anxious to respond to things that will better their own law. And that's what I mean by a supersonic speech. However, characterizes issues that already affect the leadership at all levels.
He also recommends robust intergovernmental relations and a formation of a tight economic team to get the country out of recession.
We need to be asking ourselves, who brought this insecurity on us? Of course, they are not outsiders, they are Nigerians. We must think seriously about governance. Is governance about amassing wealth? Is governance about paraphernalia of office? Or about making life easier for the people we are purporting to be leading?
A possible answer to this is that governance and security go hand in hand. Words of Professor Ayo Dumoye, who says solving the economic challenges will ultimately take care of insecurity.
Security of safety. That is, the state should be secure from external aggression. The most fundamental is human security. And Professor Jaya has mentioned some of the security issues. I think include economic security, health security, environmental security, partner security, community security, and political security.
At the end, there's a consensus on the need to address internal problems frustrating the system, and this, they say, can only be achieved through good governance, the rule of law, and a return to the planning culture.